different states have different legal legalities, like with smoking marijuana. If should people be telling their recruiters that they've smoked, or how do you even handle that type of situation? Maybe you have, maybe it's okay where you are, but they're afraid of telling the recruiter or telling the people at MEPS, when they say, hey, if you smoke now, forever hold your peace. What should they be telling or saying in those situations?
I'd say be honest with the recruiter. That could be one of those reasons. Like if you were my applicant and you were just way dishonest with me, that's cause for me to not to want you to put you in the military. I've lost trust in you. I can't trust you to just tell me a simple truth on a question of smoking marijuana or smoke or legal infractions. How could I entrust you to put on my uniform? So that could build up to a bad case against you. Whereas, just be honest with the recruiter. Our job is to find out the potential in the applicant, and if you experiment a little bit here or there, that's not that big of a deal. And I've definitely been in that situation before where I've had to counsel applicants. You're not eligible to join the Coast Guard right now, but if you're serious about this, you need to prioritize out what's more important. This could be your future. This could be your career. This could be a lot of opportunity for you. Or smoking marijuana. What's your priority? If that's your priority, then there's the door. You need to go. This uniform is not for you. If that's not your priority, show me that you've changed. Call me back. Call me back in 2 weeks. Call me back in a month, and then follow up with me and show me that that's not a priority to you and that you want to be a part of this uniform. That's my take on it.
I don't know.
It's a best policy to just always be honest with the recruiter. There's nobody that has the knowledge and the capabilities of what's acceptable, what's going to fly, and just put on the spot to judge the character than the current recruiters that are in the office. That's their job.
When I went to MEPS, the people that were there, and because MEPS, you have all the services, so they, but they said, if you've ever smoked weed even once in your life, even if someone passed it to you and you just kind of took a little hit, let us know right now, otherwise you could get, XYZ reason. And there was people there that started raising their hands because they didn't, they were scared or they didn't know what to do. Have things changed? Is that still the case? Like, even if you've smoked once in your life before, are you supposed to be telling them, or is it like you said, give it a month and then come back, just don't?
No, I would say be honest, because we need to determine, is it a habitual thing, is it an experimental thing? That's our job to determine that. But I would just say be honest with the recruiter. And I've seen it both ways as well. I've seen the whole myriad of things. Even just let's pose the story as this. When I was going through MEPS way back when, I was very honest with my recruiter. And let's say somebody else that was processing at MEPS at the same time, their recruiter told them to lie. They said, don't worry about it, don't put it on there, and don't listen to the guys at MEPS. And this individual, no, I want to be honest. Like, I want to be a part of this organization in honest. And if something disqualifies me, I want to know. So I have heard that story. You hear about that. I mean, when I came into the Coast Guard, it was right after post 9/11. So they just wanted to put bodies into uniforms. So that, I think, was happening a lot more back then. But if that does happen, if the recruiter indeed told an applicant to lie, that's a problem. That's a problem for recruiting, period. That MEPS would be obligated to investigate. If a recruiter if they find impropriety from a recruiter, then
does that because kind of going back to that case, and I don't know if that's still the case now that they do in MEPS, but like, even if you smoked weed once in your life, they want you to raise your hand, and then those people get taken out of MEPS. How do you handle that type of situation? Because lots of people, have smoked in the past now, and as it's becoming more common that, that's what people do. Is that going to jeopardize your career? Or is that going to affect you? Are those people not allowed to come back to MEPS because they said that they did once before?
So some MEPs will have different policies, and I'll, to answer that, let me also say the MEPs policy that they may have had in place was, okay, well, you lied on your intake forms, so now you've inconvenienced us. Now go back and fix it with your recruiter. Well, and submit us some real stuff. That could be a MEPS thing as well. But yeah, their job is to dig in. You got the nice friendly recruiter. Whatever you fill on your medical information, unless it's something obvious, I'm just verifying that that's how you filled it out, and that I've given you the proper warnings. That this is an official statement. That's good. I saw you fill it out. I saw you complete it. I gave you a good brief and the instructions how to fill it out. I'm just a friendly recruiter. I'll take your word for it, and we'll spin it up to MEPS. Now MEPS is more of like a good cop, bad cop. We don't care what you told your recruiter. You better tell us. And then the warning that's on the form becomes more prevalent, because they probably put it up in big bold letters. If you lie on this form and you enlist into the military on this form, it's a falsified statement. It can be, I don't know of any case that it's ever happened, but the threat is real. $10,000 fine, 5-year imprisonment, or both, and you can get dishonorably discharged from the military and all of this stuff that can affect your future. I'm a friendly recruiter. I'm going to tell you that's there, but the MEPS is going to really, really tell you that that's there. And then they're going to say, we don't care what you told that recruiter. We care what you tell us. Now tell us, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's always going to be there, I think. And for good reason. There's multiple levels for screening, and I think that's important.
So should people, even though they're telling you, yeah, I smoked in the past, but I don't do it anymore, and then MEPS is telling you, if you've even smoked once in your life before, tell us now, otherwise it could, come back to bite you, because we're going to find out. How do you handle that type of dynamic?
Yeah, I would advise somebody that's hearing something separate from what the service is saying, what the actual recruiter is saying at MEPS, to confirm it with the recruiter. That is one of the struggles that we were talking about earlier of being a recruiter. That's our fight. That's the battle that we have to do. We have to be familiar with the process at MEPS, because we need them. We need them to do a lot of our official processing, but we also need to know our own individual service and what we're gonna take. So the best policy is just be honest with your recruiter. That's our job, is to find if it's a good fit or not, really.
Okay. If you're planning on joining the Coast Guard and you want to be connected with other people that are preparing to go to boot camp, then you should join our Facebook group, the Coast Guard Boot Camp Preppers, to connect with other people in the military journeyman community. Go ahead and share tips and tricks. If there's anything that you are doing to be able to help study, then be sure to join that group.